Well, Anthony Weiner, the former congressman, got a stiff dose of reality yesterday. Judge slapping him with nearly a 2-year sentence for sexting a 15-year-old girl. We are joined by WGY legal analyst Chas Farcher from Martin, Harding, and Mazzotti. Hey, Chas.
Hey, good morning, Chuck. Good morning, Kelly.
So, he pleaded guilty earlier. I guess with the presumption he would get 21 to 27 months. Could the judge have given him as much as 10 years if he so chose?
Yeah, the charge had a punishment that could have been as long as 10 years, and in fact, he could have faced several other charges, too. There was the discussion of whether or not to bring all kinds of other child pornography charges under the federal law, but his defense attorneys were able to work out an agreement where he only got the one charge for transferring obscene material to a minor, and then also they worked out a recommendation with the prosecutor where the prosecutor would recommend 21 to 27 months, which is probably how you ended up with the 21-month sentence.
And usually a judge would agree with that?
The judge, the ultimate discretion when it comes to sentencing always lies with the judge, but they're supposed to give strong consideration to any recommendation from the prosecutor. So it's probably a combination of the recommendation from the prosecutor plus the lack of priors, and I don't mean prior conduct because obviously he's got a history of this type of stuff, but prior criminal conduct. So the lack of priors, and also under the federal sentencing guidelines, they're supposed to give some consideration when somebody seems to accept responsibility, which is what it seemed he was trying to do, at least at his sentencing. So I'm sure all of those factors kind of went into it.
Right. He said that he was, in therapy and was trying to recover from his longtime sex addiction, asked them to consider his son. But when all is said and done, he's going away for 21 months, and he's not going to some cushy little, white-collar crime facility. He's actually going to a prison, and he's going to be a sex offender there, and they're not treated all that well.
I think that's exactly right. I don't think it's going to be easy time for him, and under the federal guidelines, he's probably going to do most of that 21 months. It's not quite like state time. You don't get as much credit for good time, so he's probably going to do the vast majority of that sentence. And in addition to that, when he gets out, he's going to be a registered sex offender, have to undergo internet monitoring. And, the other side of this, too, is it also saves the 15-year-old victim from having to go through the trial, which, you'd like to avoid if you could.
He was once a prominent person. Of course, his soon-to-be ex-wife, very prominent, Huma Abedin, Hillary Clinton's right-hand person. Do you think Weiner got any preferable treatment?
There's an argument to be made, and in fact, the sentencing judge mentioned that the sentence was important because he was a politician. Whether it was important in terms of giving him less or giving him more, it's hard to get inside the judge's mind. But it doesn't appear that way. There was no physical contact between the two victims. It was obviously very inappropriate exchanges over the internet, over cell phones. But 21 months, as Kelly said, in a federal prison with the other caveats here, having to register as a sex offender, still a pretty stiff sentence for somebody with no priors and someone who seems to have accepted responsibility for their conduct.
And I saw this. I think I saw this. He doesn't have to report till November 6th. Is that unusual for to be given that long before you have to report? Would some poor guy in Schenectady get the same slack?
Probably not. A lot of that has to do with your ties to your community, the number of affairs you need to get in order before you start your sentence. So it really just depends on the situation. But somebody who might be a flight risk or might run probably wouldn't get that consideration. Somebody who doesn't maybe have types of affairs to get in order, as Anthony Weiner probably does, might not get that consideration. So I don't know that that's uniform across the board. It's kind of a case-by-case, and the judge has discretion to kind of make that a condition of sentencing.
WGY legal analyst Chas Farcher from Martin, Harding, Mazzotti, 1-800-LAW-1010. Nice talking to you, Chas.
Thanks a lot, Chuck. Have a great day. Have a great day, Kelly.
All right, thanks, Chas.